I was raped during my freshman year at Occidental by a male student.
I was raped my freshman year.
I was raped by a male student.
2 months ago, I was raped.
A fellow student raped me in my own bedroom.
And then said, I think I was raped last night.
Broke down and she said, Mom, I've been raped.
I thought, well, that's never going to happen to me because I don't drink. I've never drank. I've never done drugs. I didn't go places where this happens.
Megan told her mother she believed she was drugged and then raped by multiple men after attending a party in her dorm.
So I was doing everything right and I was being a good girl and it wasn't going to be me.
A large majority of attacks committed by someone they already know.
She was traumatized.
Megan fell into a deep depression.
My life in college was completely destroyed by something that was out of my control.
She tumbled into a downward spiral.
I kept trying to get her to wake up and I kept telling her, don't go.
People don't want to talk about it, but we have to. It's happening so often.
Survivors of rape on college campuses suffer from high levels of post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and drug and alcohol abuse.
They don't learn from each other. They treat it as a PR problem.
In fact, 77% of schools recently reported 0 sexual offenses a year.
They also told me that he would have to be in the room with me when I testified.
They don't treat that person like a criminal. They treat that person like a student who made a mistake.
He would get to ask me direct questions about what happened.
And sexual assault is not a mistake, and it has to go back to that.
What I thought would take 8, maybe 10 weeks ended up taking over a year.
Morning, a complaint was filed on behalf of a number of victims with the Office of Civil Rights against Occidental College for violating Title IX. The complaint documents violations involving 37 Occidental College students who were allegedly raped, sexually assaulted, battered, harassed, and/or retaliated against for speaking out against sexual violence. The Title IX complaint sets forth details of rape, sexual assaults, and sexual batteries that have occurred at Occidental, and the ways in which Occidental, a college which President Obama once attended, has failed miserably to abide by federal law, which guarantees each and every student the right to an education free from violations of their human and civil rights. The last reported rape occurred this past Friday night, such as in one case in which the perpetrator, who was found guilty of non-consensual sexual intercourse and also admitted to sexually assaulting another young woman, was told that his punishment was to write a paper, an apology to the victim, and resign from the leadership positions he held on campus during his final semester at Occidental before he graduated.
In an interview with Justine Jarvie, a representative from the Rape Crisis Center of Milford, which offers services such as a 24/7 confidential hotline and free counseling, she says many students don't take rape very seriously. Students on high school and college campuses have this idea that it happens, but cannot happen to them, and make light of the situation. It can happen to anyone. So don't come back for me. Who do you think you are? It took so long just to feel. She said for victims, living with the distress of their body having been violated is distressing and traumatic. Some victims feel so vulnerable that they are unable to go outside. The actual process of testifying is a very stressful process. George Will of the Washington Post said sexual assault on college campuses make victimhood a coveted status that confers privileges and denies rape victims by saying, "It didn't happen, and if it did happen, you deserve it."
Freedom from sexual assault is a basic human right. No man has a right to raise a hand on a woman for any reason other than self-defense. No matter what she's wearing, no matter whether she's in a bar, in a dormitory, in the backseat of a car, on a street, drunk or sober. No man has a right to go beyond the word no. And if she can't consent, it also means no. That too makes it a crime.
When you try your best, but the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women's Act, which improved the support we gave to cities and states to help end sexual assault. And that includes funding to train police officers and nurses. 3 years ago, we sent every school district, college, and university that receives federal funding new instructions clarifying their legal obligations to prevent and respond to sexual assault. And we have seen progress, including an inspiring wave of student-led activism and a growing number of students who found the courage to come forward and report attacks. That's exactly what we want them to do.
The Violence Against Women's Act of 1994, reauthorized in 2013, provides $1.6 billion towards investigation and prosecution of violent crimes against women. The act also imposed restitution of those who are convicted of violent crimes. The act also established the Office on Violence Against Women within the Department of Justice of the United States of America. Under Title IX of the Education Amendment of 1972, sexual discrimination includes sexual harassment, assault, battery, rape, which are so severe that they block a victim's access to an educational benefit or opportunity. Connecticut law has a minimum 10-year sentence for those proven guilty of rape. College victims can put in place a protective order which is similar to a restraining order, but never expires and states that their perpetrator is not allowed to go near.
Have to keep in mind is how traumatized these victims are, both at the time of the attack and then in an ongoing way. This affects these women and sometimes men for the rest of their lives. And so we need to make sure that right away they get the response that they need.
Lawmakers are fighting to make college campuses safer.
There is a push to enforce sexual assault laws in universities across the nation.
In a letter, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and 9 other senators are calling for federal funding to investigate sexual assault laws on university grounds. Fighting for safety. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is calling for funding to enforce sexual assault laws on college campuses. In a statement, she says the price of college should not include a 1 in 5 chance of being sexually assaulted. Extra funding will make the campus even safer. Under the Clery Act and Title IX, all colleges and universities must report all sexual violence.